back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams, and we're back with another one of our 24/7 news report videos. As always, with our headline news, with our 24 news videos, we start with our headline news. And the headline news is that Everton have announced today that Ashley Cole has been signed as a first-team coach. The Echo reported this, and Everton announced it themselves on their Twitter. So now we have two of the best left-backs, English left-backs ever at Everton Football Club in Ashley Cole and Leighton Baines, which is quite exciting. Obviously, it means massive amounts, not just as a coach themselves for every other position on the field, but hopefully they could inspire the likes of Mykolenko, Niels Nkunku when he comes back from Belgium. More Nkunku, from what I've seen, he seems to be the one that bombs forward a little bit, but they can, Mykolenko's still a young lad, he can learn that as well. And when you've got two of the best left backs that the Premier League have seen in the Premier League era, especially English left backs, you'd hope that rubs off on them ever so slightly. So it's quite exciting times. It's obviously somebody that Frank knows very well, Lampard's close friend, close teammate. They worked together at Chelsea. And I believe Ashley Cole might have been involved with the England setup as well, which is another good one. It shows it's not just this isn't jobs for the Chelsea boys. This is coaches who are experienced, who he knows very well, which is really good to see. We also have the news that Dominick Calvert-Lewin is injured again. Frank Lampard did announce this in his press conference. He said that Dominick Calvert-Lewin had picked up a knock in the last game, which would have been Aston Villa, and is set to miss out on the FA Cup game against Brentford. We thought this anyway because he wasn't pictured in training, which is normally a good insight into somebody not being available. Obviously, he was a bit off the pace in the Villa game, and now he's going to be even longer. I think there was probably too much intensity for him, that Villa game. Maybe he was back a little bit too early. It's interesting to see what he does now, though. Obviously, we've got Solomon Rondon, who got a hat-trick in the international week. But as we've watched him for the last 4 months, we'd say he's probably not ideal. Or we play Dobbin. Obviously, Sims has gone to Hearts, so that's not an option anymore. Maybe we see Lewis Dobbin. I have this sneaky feeling that he might play Rondon, though. And I know people will, fume. Got this sneaky feeling he's going to go with experience over youth, despite all the Frank Lampard plays youth. I've got this feeling that in that position, he's going to see Dobbin is just a little bit too green and go with Rondon, and hope that the wingers can provide the goals. Unless he plays Richarlison up there, I'd be very open to Richarlison playing up there. But we'll have to wait and see on that one, won't we? We also had the news today that Steve Hitchen is the latest to be considered for Marcel Brands' job or former job. Everton are weighing up a move for Steve Hitchen as the club looks to reshape their recruitment department. Hitchen has been confirmed this evening to have left his role as the performance director at Tottenham Hotspur. And the 45-year-old has emerged as a candidate to head up recruitment department at Goodison Park. Obviously, Marcel Brands left early December. Greta Steenson also left the club as well as head of recruitment and development. Everton have been performing a strategic review as well, and readjusting their model. So maybe this is a sign of that. They've realised that that's somewhere they need to improve. We also had the news that Everton were meant to be signing, or were potentially going to sign, PSG centre-back Abdo Diallo during the January window. According to Fabrizio Romano, the Blues wanted a new centre-back before the window closed. Romano told Gu Galasso, a YouTube channel, they were also thinking of potential centre-backs. For example, Diallo of Paris Saint-Germain. It was a player they wanted to sign, but there was no time to do it on deadline day, so time was not helping them. So basically, we left it a little bit too late to be window shopping for centre-backs, and it came back to bite us a little bit. We didn't move quick enough in the window, and we always knew come deadline day, we'd got Van der Beek in, we got Dele Alli in, and we got Frank Lampard. But we'd have had to act quickly to get anyone else in. So yeah, we're not the only club to have done it. I believe Liverpool couldn't sign that Fabio Carvalho because of the time as well. So we're not the only clubs to be caught out by the time of 11 o'clock cut off. But yeah, we also had Gary Neville host the overlap that he does, and Declan Rice was in it. And Declan Rice was asked which is the toughest away game ground to go to in the English Premier League. I don't need to tell you guys, if you've watched it, you'll know, but he did pick Goodison Park, which is absolutely brilliant to see. Obviously, it shows that the fans still have a huge huge influence and can put off, opposition players, which is brilliant to see in itself. I think it just goes to prove that it's really inevitable that the fans now rally together for the last couple of 18 games of this season, push on and hopefully escape the drop. I think I'm still, optimistic that we will if we beat Newcastle. That's still a must-win game for us. But yeah, the optimism's starting to creep back in with me and the confidence. And for the first time in 4 months, I'm actually excited to watch Everton play this Saturday against Brentford, which is quite an unusual feeling, as I've not felt this since last season, and not even that since like last January, like before the dip of last season as well, which was a bit depressing. But at least, then I had the thoughts of, we've got a good man in charge. The last 4 months, I'm just going to put down to just, forgetting it, brown it out of my mind as much as I can. But yeah, obviously, like I mentioned, we had Lampard's press conference today as well. He announced that Duncan Ferguson would be kept on as an assistant manager, which is fantastic to see. He said he's delighted to work with Duncan. He's a club legend and a person players respect and fans respect. It's really good to see. Lampard also went on to say, it's a talented group that's confidence has took a hit. He reckons he can get them all back on form, which I think is a fair point. We've got a couple of talented players here. We shouldn't be where we are. When you think Doucouré is a very good player, Jordan Pickford's a good keeper, Allen's a good player when he's not been run ragged. Yerry Mina and Ben Godfrey are good centre-backs. Richarlison's a good winger. Dominick Calvert-Lewin is a very good striker. You've got about 5-6 players I've mentioned there out of an 11. So you've got half of a good team, a very good team, and then the rest, not everyone's rubbish that plays there. Mikalenko, I think, is just struggling to adapt, which we all knew he would. Damari Gray, is one of those good players. So you've got like 7. And then you've got the likes of, the bit parts, Townsend. Anthony Gordon's very good as well. So we shouldn't be where we are, is basically what I'm saying with the players that we've got. Hopefully Lampard can inspire that. Now we've got Dele, Alli and Van der Beek as well. It'll be interesting to see how they get on. They obviously won't play on Saturday because they're cup tied, but nevertheless. But yeah, he went on to say about how important the fans are. Mentioned that Everton is a people's club as well. And he mentioned Dele Alli transfer. He said he watched Dele Alli come through. Fantastic player who's had a difficulty. But his job's now to get him a fresh slate and push him on. Everything is still there for Dele Alli, which I agree with. I was a bit hesitant on it. Then I wasn't. Then I was. Then I realised, you know what? It will only cost us if he performs. So even if he does end up not being a great signing, he won't cost the club an awful lot. The least he'll cost us is that 10 million for the 20 games that I think he'll definitely play, but that'll be next season because he can't do that this season. So I've been thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, do you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Let it happen. And if you can get something out of him, fantastic. If not, we'll cut our losses. But I do think he's got a Damari Gray-esque feeling about him, a player that's career was sort of on the spiral, that is now going to relish his chance at 25. He's mature. He will see this as like his last big chance, because after Everton, I think he'd have to start looking a little bit further down the table. But that is everything I've got time for today. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below all your thoughts on the news today. Do you like Hitchin from Tottenham Hotspurs? Let me know your thoughts on Dominick Calvert-Lewin's injury, Ashley Cole, Barlow. Are you gutted we never got him? Some of Lampard's quotes today. Did it make you optimistic? Are you excited to go to the game again? And let us know about your thoughts on Declan Rice saying it's the most the worst atmosphere to play against. But yeah, and most importantly, guys, stay safe.